What's up everyone, it's Nick Vazquez here and we are back with another Greater Toronto Area real estate market update video. So we're gonna look at the stats for the GTA for the month of March and then we'll break down some of the numbers specifically for Mississauga later in the video. If you find this information valuable or helpful to you at all, please double check, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure that notifications are turned on. If you do all three of those, it really motivates me to keep putting out content on the channel, so please do all that and it lets me know that you like the videos and that you want to see more of them. No more dilly-dally, let's get started with total residential transactions. There were 10,955 total transactions reported in March, which is down 29.9% compared to the all-time high number we saw in March of 2021. This result is still the third highest number of sales for the month of March, and it also caps off the second highest first quarter we've seen in history. So sales last month were pretty strong, but we are decreasing relative to the craziness that we saw in the last couple of years. While sales were down year over year in basically all of the major market segments, if we were to isolate for just the condo market segment, sales were down by a lesser amount than the other segments. So basically all that means is that sales in the condo market were higher than they were in the previous couple of years. Now taking a look at new listings are down by 11.9% compared to March of 2021. We had just over 20,000 new listings this month compared to the 22,747 we saw this time last year. On a year over year basis, new listings were down, but at a much lesser annual rate than sales. Basically, all that's telling us is that while the market is still really tight and really competitive, we are starting to shift and move to a more balanced market. The competition for homes between buyers has been a little less intense than it has been over the past couple of years, which is leading to some really good opportunity for buyers trying to get into the market right now. I will touch on this a little bit more later in the video. There were some other interesting changes we saw last month, namely in the average selling price. The average selling price for the GTA as a whole is now just under $1.3 million. This number is up 18.5% compared to last year, which is honestly not as high as expected. Another interesting thing is that the average selling price actually dropped compared to last month, which is not typical at all and goes against all of the regular seasonal trends that we usually see. Usually we see March as a much busier month with more sales and higher average selling prices relative to February, but that is not what we saw this year. What we're seeing is the signs of a market starting to level itself out. One slight thing to note about the average selling price was there were more sales in the condo market. So just looking at averages, the prices are lower and that is gonna pull that average selling price down because there were more sales in that market segment. However, things are changing and the average selling price is down relative to last month. Looking at the market as a whole, it's really clear that things are changing, the market is shifting, and we're definitely not in the same red hot market that we were in the last couple of years. Homes are still selling over asking and there is still a really big imbalance of supply and demand, but things are starting to change and they're changing pretty quickly. While working with my clients over the last couple of months, I've watched offers on properties go from 5 to 10 offers to 1 to 2. I'm seeing sellers who were expecting to get a certain price and they're declining the only offer they get because their expectations are kind of stuck in the past, and then the home just kind of sits on the market. That's becoming more and more common. Homes are selling for a little less than they would have a couple of months ago, and the competition on offer day has decreased dramatically. As of right now, there is a ton of opportunity for buyers trying to get into the market. So if you've been on the sidelines, now is probably a good time to start looking again. You can get into a home without all this crazy competition. You might be competing with one other person, and you could potentially even get the home at a lower price than you would have just 2 months ago. You might even be able to put some conditions in your offer, which wasn't really a thing for the last couple of years, and I'm starting to see it a little bit more now. Don't get me wrong though, it's still a seller's market. Prices are still really high and I don't see them coming down too much, but the opportunity to get into the market without all of that competition is there. Now, if you're considering selling your home in this market, it's not too late to sell. It would have probably been a little bit better to sell at the end of January or early February, like I said in this video, but it's still not too late right now. Like I said earlier in the video, homes are still selling for over asking and they're still selling at really high prices. However, there is a little more work that goes into selling your home for top dollar. You can no longer just throw your home on the MLS and expect to get 10 offers. That's not how the market works anymore. You have to put a little bit more work up front, prepping the home, pricing it properly, making sure that it looks really good and all that fun stuff. stuff. If you're gonna be selling anytime soon, just make sure you're working with someone who's gonna take care of all that for you. Someone who's gonna prepare your home, who's gonna price properly, and make sure that it stands out against the other competition that's on the market in your neighborhood. Also, someone that goes above and beyond just putting it on the MLS, someone who does their own creative marketing, can't really hurt as well. At the end of the day, if you're gonna be buying or selling in the shifting market, just make sure you're working with the right professionals, because it really can be the difference between getting a good deal on a house or completely overpaying, or selling your house for top dollar, or having your house sit for months. And I've been kind of seeing that a lot lately, so just make sure you're working with the right professional. Anyways, now let's go into the numbers for Mississauga. In March, there were 1,059 sales in Mississauga, and the average price of a home is now $1.18 million. That number is 11.3% higher than last year and 3.5% lower than last month. The average price for a detached home is now over $1.7 million, which is actually $165K less than last month. A semi-detached will cost you $1.269 million, which is $45,000 less than last month. The average price for a townhome is $1.2 million, which is almost $80K less than last month. A condo townhome will cost you about $964K, which is $48K less than last month. And finally, a condo apartment averages in at around $735K, which is barely any difference from last month. So as you can see, prices are kind of going down a little bit. Things are shifting. Anyways, that's it for now. I do hope you found this information valuable and informative. If you have any questions at all, you need help with anything, you want to talk about what your plans are for the future, if you want to buy or sell, anything at all, honestly, just reach out to me. My contact info will go right over there. You could text me, call me, email me, whatever way works for you. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have or help out in any way that I can. Thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate each and every one of you. If you do like the video, please make sure you hit that like button. Like I said at the beginning, it really motivates me to keep making videos and putting out content on the channel. And as always, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to see the great content that we're going to be pushing out. That's all I got for today, so enjoy yourself and have a great week.